the divine, so he is able to deliver inspired messages. Oh yeah, smells like cults. Smells like a cult. Yep, smells like cults, alright, and I got the weapons to get rid of the cults forcefully. Tests. Boy, do I have more trivia to give. Insane cultists. They're the goons, part of the Happy Happy group, that basically brainwashed this small village to embrace Happy Happyism. Here's where the trivia comes in. Earthbound itself got censored. There's massive differences to certain parts of Earthbound where it had to be censored for the international releases, such as the one I'm playing right now. If I'm not mistaken, there were crosses at the hospital, so, I'm pretty sure they didn't want to step on the toes for copyright infringement for the Red Cross. Another part is the Happy Happy cultists. The Happy Happy cultists, they don't represent the Ku Klux Klan as I thought it was when I was playing Earthbound Blind. They represent the Shumrikyo cult, if I'm not mistaken. The Shumrikyo cult, it was made by a cultist named Shumrikyo. It's not KKK based, but it's it's another deadly cult within Japan. And if memory serves, the Shumrikyo cult, I'm drawing a blank of what the actual name of the cult was. It had something to do with the apocalypse and all that razzmatazz. And they were responsible for a terrorist attack on Japan. Not just a terrorist attack, but the most deadly terrorist attack in Japanese history. I could be wrong with it being the most deadliest terrorist attack in Japan, or the single most deadliest attack in Japan, but regardless, it's because of that. That is what the Happy Happy cult, Happy Happyism represents. Not the KKK, but a deadly Japanese cult. If I'm not mistaken, parts of the Shumrikyo cult disbanded and went into separate branches that still exist to this day, sadly. But if I'm not mistaken, those responsible for the terrorist attack, which was a bombing within a Japanese subway, they basically got charges and all that fun razzmatazz stuff. Okay, so it turns out I was actually a bit right and wrong with the whole thing, with the whole Happy Happyism cult. Because within interviews, as I've done research, because this is future me doing the editing for this whole video, it turns out the Happy Happy cult is actually based on both the Shumrikyo cult made by Asahara Shoko, born in March 2nd, 1955. And it was actually loosely based on the Ku Klux Klan, actually. So it turns out, when I first played the game, over a decade ago on the Wii U Virtual Console, I was actually correct with the whole thing. And apparently, yeah, obviously within re-releases of Earthbound, they'd have to at least put the little white poofy cotton balls on the tips of the hoods for the Happy Happy cultists. And yes, I was also right with my guess of the Shumrikyo cult being arrested and charged with the 1989... Oh, my mistake, not that one. They were actually charged with releasing the gas in the Tokyo subway system that killed 13 people and injured almost 6,000 people for the Tokyo subway attack of 1995. Eventually, they were arrested for the Shumrikyo cult. Asahara and his goons were arrested. They were arrested in 2004, and over a decade later, he was given the death sentence by hanging. And I'm actually surprised about that, because the simple fact that, well, hanging is kind of an old-fashioned thing. They used to do it way, way long ago for a means of the death sentence, but now we just get firing squads, you got the chair, you got lethal injection, all that. So I figured I'd at least inform you about this whole thing, as nice little fun facts for this in this regard. This has been FODV93, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.